Guys, I hope you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my videos. I hope that you guys find them useful and I hope that you find them interesting and intriguing and hopefully you learn something from them. That's my ardent desire with these videos. In this video, I want to speak to you guys about, do whatever floats your boat. That's just the one thing that I always tell people. Don't focus on everyone else. Don't think about what everyone else is doing. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Don't worry about what the in thing to do is, what the trendy thing to do is. Don't worry about all of that shit. Just worry about whatever floats your boat, do it, right? I'm going to give you a couple of examples just to explain this theory. So recently I read about the author of The Martian, Andy Weir. I'm not saying, I don't know if that's the right name, but the author of Martian. I started reading about his life and about how he wrote the book and all that stuff. And he's majorly into science. He loves science. His parents were into science, and so he's a major science buff. And he decided to do orbital dynamics in his engineering degree as a focus. Orbital dynamics. Now think about that. I have never even thought about that as a focus in my life. Orbital dynamics. Brilliant. I'm so grateful that we live in a world where there are people who are doing all these interesting things with their life, right? And so he started focusing on that in his schooling, and he worked for NASA for a little bit. He did all these random things. I think he worked for NASA. But anyways, so when he started writing his novel, he wrote a couple of other novels that didn't do well about other random things. But then he decided, I love science. I love orbital dynamics. I love this stuff. I love the space. Why not write about that, right? And that's where the book The Martian came in, which is all about the orbit, and he uses all these intricate details that only he would know because he focused on that in his career, in his lifetime, right? No one else would know all these details, and he's the absolutely only perfect person on the planet to write this book, and that's why he wrote it, and it was an absolute smashing success. Everyone loved it, obviously. It became a movie, blah, blah, blah. Now, he did something in the past, probably even the first few books he wrote, he was thinking about, okay, what's going to be a success? Should I write a vampire romance? Because that seems to be very common or popular nowadays. Or should I write something about BDSM? Because that seems to be very popular. Or, should I write something about, Game of Thrones style thing? So maybe that's what he was thinking when he wrote the first couple of novels. He was trying to appease the crowd. He was appeasing the world. But then his third novel, or whenever he was writing The Martian, he's like, okay, I don't care about everyone else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to float my boat. I'm going to write about something that I care about. Maybe no one else is going to read it. Maybe no one else is going to care about this. But I'm going to write about stuff that really, really, really matters to me. So he wrote this book, and it was perfection because he wrote about something that makes him happy, right? And that made the world happy. Now, this is something that I notice over and over and over and over and over and over again with everything that I do. Now, recently, I was walking around the streets of Toronto, and there was this girl from Scotland who was giving away free Bibles, right? There are all these different people, these missionaries, obviously, and Jehovah's Witnesses and all that stuff. I don't think she was a Jehovah's Witness, but she was very, very Catholic or Christian, and she was giving out these Bibles for free. Now, of course, you guys know my opinion on religion, or an organized religion. I have an issue with it. And so I obviously walked right away from her. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, and I walked away. But then my mother and I were standing and taking pictures of us. We were trying to do the selfie thing, and she noticed. And obviously she's a very nice person, and she walked up to us and she said, oh, I noticed you were taking pictures. Do you want me to take a picture for you? And I was like, yeah, no, that'd be great. And so she did, and obviously we started asking her questions. What are you doing here? We saw you giving free Bibles. Is that what you do for a living? Blah, blah, blah. And she was kind of embarrassed, but she told us, she's like, I don't know why, but I love God and I love religion and I just want to share it with the world. And I'm not doing it out of any agenda. I don't get paid for this. I actually saved up money. That's what she did. She saved up for a year in Glasgow, and she's paying to do this. She's paying to go around the world and give away free Bibles and spread the message of God and of religion, right? And I'm standing there, I'm listening to this girl, and obviously she's very passionate about it. She loves God, she loves religion. I'm not going to talk about the fact of whether she's brainwashed or all that stuff. I don't want to care about that right now. For this particular video, I was just mystified and amazed by the fact that she was so passionate about this particular subject matter. And in my head, the idea came, it's like, if it floats her boat, why not do it, right? And I was like, and in that moment, for the first time, I wasn't feeling anger towards her. I wasn't feeling resentment. I wasn't feeling like, oh my God, religion, really? And I didn't feel that at all, because she was so passionate about it in her own way that I was like, if it floats your boat, then definitely do it. Man, that's awesome. You're doing something that you love and you're passionate about it. So that's great. I'm so grateful that I met someone like you, even though it's a passion that I would never have. Orbital dynamics, I don't have that passion, right? So, but there are people in this world who have all these amazing passions, and they share that with the world, and they're working on it, and they're just so intrigued by it, and you can see it in their eyes. You know, their eyes light up when they start talking about it, their face lights up, their body language changes, they're just a different person. And that's how she was, you know. Before that, she was timid and all that stuff, but then when she started talking about her love for God and for religion, all of a sudden she lit up, right? And that's when I knew that she was talking from a place of love and from a place of passion, right? And I just wanted to share this story with you guys, both of these stories, because I wanted you to realize these are so completely different opposite topics, right? Orbital dynamics, space, you know, science, blah, blah, blah. God, religion, you know, absolutely mythical and mystical. And both of these people are absolutely passionate about their stuff. They're living their lives based on their passion, and they're dynamic, they're magical, you know, they're filled with joy. So who are we to judge it, right? I can't judge that. I'm not going to judge it. Neither one of them are going to be judged by me. But I'm going to learn from it. And the lesson that I learn is that if you like something, if it's something that's your passion, whatever it might be the most obscurest of subject matters. It might be the dung beetle in the fields of Africa. I'm just making up stuff, right? But it might be the most obscure subject ever. But if it fascinates you and if it's your passion, then go for it. If it floats your boat, then do it. Don't worry about the world. Don't worry about what people are going to say. Don't worry about what's going to happen, because there is this magical thing that happens in the universe, that when you're doing something that you're passionate about, the entire universe conspires to help you in order to create what you're trying to create. Whatever it might be, right? This orbital dynamics thing, this Martian book, right? I mean, think about it. No one else would be in the perfect position to write this book. He wrote this book because he was in the perfect position to write that book. And if you think about it, if you start thinking about it, you're like, oh, I'm going to write a book on orbital dynamics. I'm going to write a book about Mars orbit and all that stuff. You'd be like, what? Really? It sounds boring, right? If you think about it, it really does sound boring. Of course, this person, obviously, he's very talented as a writer and a storyteller as well. But he created this beautiful novel. And you think to yourself, I would never have thought about this subject matter, you know? But this person created it, and he created a magical mystery about it, and people loved it. And that's what I noticed over and over again. That if you're passionate about your subject matter, if you're doing something that you love, if you're doing something that you're really, really good at and you care about and you're passionate about, then people around you will love it as well. You might think, oh my God, this seems like a really, really random subject to worry about or to think about or to write about. But if you're doing it with passion, people will notice it. You know, the passion I feel, that passion that you put into your novel or your painting or whatever you're doing, it gets transmitted to the world. Everyone in the world feels that passion. They feel that energy. Even though you might have just been writing it with your pen and paper or writing it on or typing on a computer, if you're feeling passionate about it, that energy that you're feeling, it gets transmitted into every single letter. And everyone who reads that book, everyone who watches that movie, everyone who reads that poem or whatever it might be, they feel that passion, they feel that joy, they feel that energy. And that's why people love it, whatever it might be, right? If you're writing it because you're like, oh, I want to write something because it's going to be trendy, or because that's what people like nowadays, I'm going to write something like Harry Potter because that's what some people seem to like. It might do all right, you know, you never know. But the things that are going to be really, really, really successful are the things that are going to come from entirely your passion. Something that only you would be able to create. Something that you're creating from the entire bowels of your essence. You know, you're creating from something that no one else would create exactly the same thing as you, right? So I really want you guys to be careful of this. I want you guys to be cognizant of it. I want you to be aware of this, right? Your passion matters. Now, when I do these videos, one last thing. When I do these videos, I'm very careful that I do these videos on days where I'm feeling really, really passionate and alive, right? If I wake up one day and I'm feeling, oh, I don't want to do this, I'm very careful to pump myself up. I'll do a meditation, or I'll do a quick jog, or I'll do a few burpees. I'll pump myself up in some way, and then I'll do these videos, because I know absolutely that if I am passionate about a subject matter and I care about it, the videos do much better than those subject matters that I'm like, I'm iffy about, but I just do them because I think I should do them, right? I notice an absolute difference between the two. People can feel it. You might be able to feel it as well. As soon as I start doing a video and I'm not really passionate about it, or I don't really care about it, I'm just doing it to run through the motions, you will definitely feel it and you'll just switch it off. You'll be like, it's boring. But then another video I do and I'm like, oh my God, I love this subject matter. I just want to talk about it all day long, like this subject matter. And you guys will feel it and you will watch it. And a lot of people watch my videos, even though they're so long, until the end because of the passion that I put into it, right? Even though some of my videos can be like 10, 12 minutes long. That's a long video to watch, okay? So I'm so grateful not only for your attention, but I can't believe I'm so grateful that you guys are actually watching my stuff, but also I know it's because of the passion and the joy that I put into it as well, right? So it matters. All of your energy matters. All of this stuff matters, and you guys have to be really careful and cognizant of it. Be aware of it. Be conscious of it. Be really spiritually aware of it and conscious of it, because there's so much happening underneath the surface, and we need to be aware of it in order to take advantage of it for our own lives. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, please message me anytime. All my contact information is in the description below. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.